you ever felt overwhelmed, caught in the whirlwind of life's demands and struggles? Have you ever wondered if there's a way to find peace amidst the chaos? What if the key to achieving clarity, strength, and inner peace lies not in doing more, but in doing less? Imagine stepping away from the noise and finding solace in the quiet moments. Today, we dive deep into the powerful Buddhist teaching that shows us how letting go, observing our thoughts, and embracing stillness can transform our lives and lead us to the clarity we so desperately seek. 1. Let go like the sky releases the storm. Buddhism teaches us a fundamental truth. Attachment is the root of suffering. This concept is both profound and transformative, yet it's often one of the most challenging teachings to fully embrace in our fast-paced, control-driven society. At the core of Buddhist philosophy, there is the understanding that the tighter we grip onto things, whether it's outcomes, relationships, or our identity, the more we suffer. The attachment we feel to these things becomes the very source of our pain because by clinging we are resisting the natural flow of life. The question then arises, how do we release this grip and allow life to unfold without resistance? In many ways, attachment can be likened to a storm, forceful, turbulent, and capable of obscuring our vision. Just like a storm clouds the sky, attachment clouds our minds, filling it with anxiety, frustration, and fear. But if we learn to let go as the sky releases the storm, peace can follow. When the storm ends, the sky returns to its natural state of calm, demonstrating that there is no need to hold on to the storm. It simply passes, and so too can our attachments. When we grasp too tightly at life, we are like the person who desperately clutches a rope that is pulling them into the unknown. Instead of letting go and trusting the process, we fight against the natural ebb and flow, burning ourselves out in the process. However, true peace, according to Buddhist wisdom, arises not from forcing outcomes, but from surrendering control and trusting the natural rhythm of life. It's about accepting that not everything is in our hands, and that's okay. Sometimes, the most powerful action is inaction. Personal insight. Aligning with life's timing in my own life, I have found that the more I try to force things to happen, the more resistance I encounter. Whether it's trying to advance my career, control a relationship, or manipulate outcomes, every time I fight against the natural flow, I end up feeling frustrated and exhausted. It is only when I let go of my need to control every detail that I begin to feel a sense of peace. Allowing life to unfold naturally has shown me that everything is happening at the right time. Sometimes we just need to step back and trust the process. Take, for example, the story of Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, who embodies this idea of letting go and trusting the process. Musk's journey was far from smooth. There were numerous failures and setbacks along the way, from early struggles with Tesla's production to near bankruptcy with SpaceX. However, instead of clinging to conventional expectations, Musk continued to push forward with his vision, trusting that things would eventually fall into place. He let go of the fear of failure, embraced the chaos, and continued to work toward his long-term goals. In this way, his success wasn't the result of micromanaging every detail, but rather a surrender to the natural unfolding of his journey. Story, The Locked Door and the Open Window. Consider the story of a man who spent years pounding on a locked door, demanding it to open. Every day, he exhausted himself trying to force the door open, desperate for it to yield. His obsession with this door consumed him, yet no matter how hard he tried, it remained closed. After years of frustration and exhaustion, the man collapsed beside the door, defeated. As he lay there, he happened to notice that another door, just behind him, had been open all along. It had been there the entire time, but he had been so fixated on the locked door that he couldn't see it. This story beautifully illustrates the consequences of our resistance. The man's attachment to a single outcome, the opening of the locked door, blinded him to the opportunities that were already available. By clinging to a single, rigid goal, he missed out on a multitude of possibilities that could have led to the fulfillment he sought. The key here is that the universe, or life itself, was offering him a way forward, but his resistance prevented him from seeing it. In the context of Buddhism, attachment is not limited to objects or people. It can also refer to the attachment to a particular outcome or path. We may become so attached to a specific goal that we fail to see the doors that are already open for us. This is a critical insight. We are often blocking the very opportunities that life is trying to give us, simply because we are too fixated on a single way of achieving success. The cost of control and attachment, the story of the locked door, is not just a lesson in letting go. It also reveals the hidden cost of attachment. When we are attached to a specific outcome, we place all of our energy into trying to force things to happen. In doing so, we expend precious resources, time, energy, and emotional investment, only to end up feeling drained and unfulfilled. It is in this relentless pursuit of control that we often miss the gifts that life is trying to give us. In modern life, we see this everywhere. People chase promotions, relationships, and material success without ever pausing to question why they are chasing these things. Often, it's not about the joy of the journey or the fulfillment of the experience, but rather the need to feel validated or to prove something to ourselves or others. This attachment to outcomes, driven by fear and insecurity, only leads to burnout. In contrast, those who learn to let go, who embrace uncertainty and trust the flow of life, experience less anxiety and more peace. Letting go in practice. Lessons from powerful figures. One of the most striking examples of letting go in practice comes from the life of Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple Inc. Jobs was known for his intense drive and high standards, yet in his later years, he underwent a significant transformation in his approach to life and business. After being ousted from Apple in 1985, Jobs could have clung to the idea of returning to the company he had founded. Instead, he let go of his attachment to his past and started NXT and Pixar, both of which were instrumental in shaping the future of technology and entertainment. It wasn't until he returned to Apple that he found his true calling, leading the company to become the most valuable in the world. Jobs' story is a powerful example of how letting go of attachment and trusting the process can lead to greater success. Rather than holding on to past expectations or trying to control every aspect of his life, Jobs embraced the uncertainty and found new opportunities where others saw failure. His ability to release control over the outcome allowed him to achieve more than he could have imagined. The role of surrender in personal growth. Surrender is not about giving up. It is about letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that things will unfold as they should. Personal growth often involves a process of surrender, letting go of old identities, limiting beliefs, and past experiences that no longer serve us. When we do this, we create space for new possibilities and new ways of being. Take, for instance, the life of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah's journey to success was not linear, and she faced many setbacks along the way, from being fired from her first television job to enduring years of public scrutiny. However, Oprah's success is rooted in her ability to let go of her fears, doubts, and past experiences, and instead trust in her ability to create her own path. She embraced the flow of life and allowed herself to evolve into the person she is today, one of the most influential media moguls in the world. In Oprah's case, letting go meant shedding the limiting beliefs that held her back. She let go of the need to prove herself to others, choosing instead to trust her own vision and authenticity. In doing so, she created a space for the universe to deliver what she deserved, not through effort alone, but through alignment with her true self. 2. Observe your mind like a still lake watches the moon. The practice of observing one's thoughts without attachment is a profound teaching in Buddhism that speaks to the heart of mental clarity. It's not merely about emptying the mind or forcing ourselves into a state of peace. Instead, it's about allowing our thoughts to come and go, watching them pass without getting caught in them. This type of mindfulness, akin to the stillness of a calm lake reflecting the moon, offers a clarity that can only be attained when we stop trying to control our minds and simply observe them. In the chaotic world we live in, it can be challenging to cultivate such a calm mind. We're often bombarded by distractions, pressures, and constant demands on our attention. Whether it's work, relationships, or the endless cycle of thoughts and worries, our minds rarely find peace. But Buddhism reminds us that true clarity doesn't come from trying to suppress our thoughts or force our minds into stillness. Instead, it arises from accepting the nature of the mind, observing its contents with detachment, and allowing thoughts to flow without being swept away by them. This process of observing without judgment is not about being passive or detached from the world around us. On the contrary, it is a practice that strengthens our awareness and allows us to respond to life with greater wisdom and understanding. In essence, it's about learning to distinguish between the thoughts that come and go and the deeper awareness that remains steady beneath them. Personal insight, cultivating clarity through meditation in my personal journey. I've found that meditation has been a key practice in developing the ability to observe my thoughts without getting lost in them. Meditation doesn't always involve quieting the mind completely. Rather, it's about learning to sit with the thoughts that arise without attaching to them or judging them as good or bad. This practice of mindfulness has brought me a deeper sense of peace and understanding. At first, meditation felt frustrating because I expected to immediately silence my thoughts. But over time, I learned that the goal isn't to stop thinking altogether. It's about creating space between the thoughts and the self that observes them. This shift in perspective has allowed me to find clarity even in moments of stress and confusion. When thoughts arise, whether they are worries, anxieties, or fleeting desires, I've learned to simply observe them without judgment. And in that moment of observation, a sense of peace emerges because I'm no longer caught up in the cycle of reacting to every thought that comes to mind. This practice, though simple, has had a profound impact on my mental clarity. By observing my thoughts, I can more easily discern between what is truly important and what is just mental clutter. This allows me to respond to life's challenges with greater insight and composure. The power of non-reactivity. Learning from the great leaders, one of the most notable examples of non-reactivity comes from the life of Nelson Mandela. During his 27 years in prison, Mandela faced countless hardships and injustices. Yet, he never allowed anger, bitterness, or resentment to control his actions. Instead, he practiced a form of mental stillness, choosing to observe his thoughts without attachment or reactivity. He recognized that his thoughts and emotions were transient, and by not allowing them to dominate his mind, he was able to maintain clarity and a sense of inner peace throughout his imprisonment. Mandela's ability to observe his thoughts without reacting was instrumental in his later success as a leader. After his release, he led South Africa through one of its most difficult periods, negotiating with former adversaries and advocating for reconciliation. His mental clarity and unwavering calm in the face of adversity allowed him to see the bigger picture and make decisions that would shape the future of a nation. Mandela's example teaches us that true strength lies not in suppressing our emotions or forcing ourselves to remain calm, but in observing our inner world with awareness and choosing not to be controlled by it. Similarly, the Dalai Lama, who embodies the teachings of compassion and mindfulness, has spoken extensively about the importance of mental clarity. He encourages individuals to cultivate a calm and peaceful mind through regular meditation and reflection. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can free ourselves from the grip of negative patterns and develop a deeper understanding of our true nature. The Dalai Lama's teachings remind us that peace isn't something we seek externally. It is something that arises from within when we learn to observe our minds with detachment and equanimity. The stillness of the lake, a teaching from Zen, a key Buddhist teaching that encapsulates this idea of observing without attachment, comes from Zen. The Zen master once told his student, "You are not the clouds, you are the sky that watches." This metaphor is powerful because it shifts the perspective from being the thoughts and emotions themselves to being the observer of those thoughts and emotions. It reminds us that we are not defined by our fleeting thoughts and feelings. Instead, we are the awareness behind them, the stillness that remains steady even as the winds of thought blow through our minds. This teaching points to the deeper nature of our being. Just like the sky, our true nature is vast, open, and unchanging. The clouds may come and go, but the sky remains. Similarly, our thoughts may arise and disappear, but the awareness that observes them remains constant. The challenge, then, is to cultivate the ability to step back from the constant churn of thoughts and see ourselves as the sky, rather than becoming lost in the clouds. This perspective is crucial when it comes to mental clarity. When we identify too strongly with our thoughts, we become overwhelmed by them. But when we can see them as temporary and separate from our true selves, we can find peace. This is not to say that we should ignore or suppress our emotions. Rather, it's about acknowledging them without allowing them to define us or control our actions. In moments of stress or anxiety, instead of reacting, we can pause and observe what is happening within us. By creating this space between ourselves and our thoughts, we can find a sense of clarity and peace that is unaffected by the chaos of the mind. The importance of non-judgmental awareness, a crucial element of this practice, is non-judgment. Often, when we observe our thoughts, we tend to judge them as either good or bad. We may think, "This thought is negative, I shouldn't be thinking this way," or "This is a productive thought, I should focus on it." However, judgment only creates further mental clutter. When we judge our thoughts, we add another layer of attachment to them. Instead of simply letting them be, we start to create stories around them, reinforcing the mental patterns that cause us suffering. Buddhism teaches that the key to mental clarity is observing without judgment. When we observe our thoughts with detachment, we allow them to arise and pass without becoming attached to them. This is where true freedom lies. We stop identifying with our thoughts and start recognizing them for what they are, temporary and impermanent. The more we practice this, the clearer our minds become, and the more easily we can discern the truth from the mental noise that often clouds our perception. This non-judgmental awareness is akin to a lens that allows us to see the world more clearly. When we are not clouded by judgment or attachment, we can approach life with greater clarity and understanding. We can respond to challenges with calm and wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively based on our emotions or biases. The practice of mental clarity, a daily ritual. The key to achieving mental clarity is consistent practice. It's not enough to simply observe our thoughts once in a while. We must make it a daily ritual. Just like physical exercise, mental clarity requires regular attention and discipline. By incorporating mindfulness and meditation into our daily lives, we can strengthen our ability to observe our thoughts without attachment. One effective way to practice mental clarity is through meditation. During meditation, we sit in silence and simply observe our thoughts as they arise. We don't try to control them or push them away. We just let them be. Over time, this practice helps to cultivate a calm, focused mind that can see things as they are, without the distortion of judgment or attachment. Another important aspect of this practice is being present in the moment. When we are fully present, we are not lost in our thoughts about the past or future. We are grounded in the here and now, observing our thoughts without getting caught up in them. This presence allows us to approach life with greater clarity and focus, responding to situations with a clear mind rather than reacting impulsively. Three, align your energy like a compass finds north. The idea that the universe responds to the energy we emit is not just a philosophical notion, but a powerful reality that governs our lives. In the realm of both personal and professional growth, understanding the way energy works can completely transform how we interact with the world. We are not just passive participants in life. We are active creators, and the energy we put out into the world plays a significant role in shaping the reality we experience. When we align our energy with our true purpose, we begin to see opportunities unfold, relationships flourish, and a sense of peace and clarity arise naturally. At the core of this understanding is the concept that everything in the universe is energy. From the smallest particle to the largest cosmic bodies, everything vibrates at a certain frequency. Human beings are no exception. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions all carry a certain vibrational frequency that interacts with the energy of the world around us. What many don't realize is that this energy can attract or repel circumstances, people, and experiences. This is why two people in the same situation can experience completely different outcomes. One may feel empowered and at peace, while the other is consumed by frustration and conflict. The difference lies in the energy they emit. Personal insight. The power of positive energy. I've personally experienced the profound impact that aligning my energy with positivity and gratitude can have on my life. For much of my life, I lived in a state of constant striving, always trying to make things happen, chasing success, and focusing on what I lacked. I was caught in the belief that external conditions were responsible for my happiness and peace. However, once I shifted my focus and began cultivating gratitude and positive energy within myself, things started to shift dramatically. Rather than constantly chasing the next goal or achievement, I focused on being grateful for the present moment and the blessings already in my life. I stopped complaining and started appreciating the abundance I already had. The more I did this, the more aligned my life became with peace and clarity. I noticed that I began attracting opportunities that I hadn't even considered before. New relationships formed, old friendships deepened, and my professional life took a positive turn. It was as if I had unlocked a new level of alignment, one that allowed life to flow effortlessly rather than forcing outcomes. The energy I was putting out returned to me in various forms: new opportunities, new connections, and a greater sense of inner peace. This personal transformation isn't unique to me. It's something that anyone can tap into. The law of attraction, which is rooted in this principle of energy alignment, suggests that by focusing on the energy we wish to receive, whether it be abundance, love, or peace, we can align ourselves with the circumstances that match those vibrations. It's about sending out the energy of what we want to attract into our lives. Story, A Man and the Seeds. There's a beautiful story that illustrates this point powerfully. A man spent countless days planting seeds in the ground, but no matter how much he worked, nothing seemed to grow. His frustration mounted as the years passed, and despite his relentless efforts, he saw no results. Finally, in a moment of despair, he sought advice from a wise teacher, hoping to understand why his efforts were in vain. The teacher, after hearing the man's plight, asked, "Have you checked the ground of your mind?" At first, the man was confused. What did his mind have to do with planting seeds? The teacher explained that the seeds he was planting in the physical world were a reflection of the internal state of his mind. If his mind was filled with doubt, impatience, and frustration, then those negative energies were contaminating the seeds he was planting, preventing them from growing. This simple yet profound story teaches us that our external reality is a mirror of our internal state. The energy we put out into the world is directly linked to what we attract back. If we are constantly filled with negativity, resentment, or anxiety, then the energy we emit will repel the very things we want. In contrast, when we align our energy with positive intentions, trust, and openness, we create an environment that is conducive to growth and success. This principle is not just an abstract idea. It is deeply rooted in how the universe operates. Think of the concept of a compass. A compass always points toward true north, regardless of the environment or obstacles it encounters. Similarly, when we align our energy with our true purpose and values, we are like that compass, unwavering in the direction we are meant to go. The universe, in turn, responds by guiding us to the people, opportunities, and experiences that will help us fulfill that purpose. The role of authenticity in energy alignment, one of the key factors in aligning your energy is authenticity. When we are not true to ourselves, when we are pretending to be something we're not or living a life that is not aligned with our true purpose, the energy we emit is fragmented and inconsistent. This misalignment creates a dissonance between who we are on the inside and the persona we project to the world. It's no surprise, then, that we may feel frustrated or unfulfilled when our actions are not in harmony with our inner truth. For instance, Oprah Winfrey, a figure who embodies authenticity and positive energy, built her empire by being true to herself. Oprah didn't try to conform to society's expectations or fit into a box. Instead, she aligned her energy with her passion for storytelling, helping others, and spreading positivity. She didn't just create a media empire. She created an energy field that resonated with millions of people around the world. Oprah's success is a direct reflection of the authenticity with which she approached her life and career. She aligned her energy with her purpose, and the universe responded in kind, bringing her immense success and opportunities. Similarly, Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States, became a global icon by staying true to his values and purpose. His calm, measured approach, combined with his unwavering commitment to justice and equality, created an energy that resonated deeply with people. Obama didn't try to be someone he wasn't. His authenticity and positive energy helped him attract millions of supporters and brought him to the highest office in the land. Both Oprah and Obama demonstrate the power of aligning one's energy with their authentic self. By staying true to their values and purpose, they attracted success, opportunities, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Their stories are a testament to the universal principle that when we align our energy with our true purpose, the universe responds by delivering what we need to fulfill that purpose. The law of attraction. The role of energy in manifestation. At the heart of energy alignment lies the law of attraction, a principle that has gained widespread popularity in recent years. The law of attraction suggests that like attracts like. The energy we emit attracts similar energy from the universe. This means that if we are focused on positive energy, abundance, and love, we will attract those very qualities into our lives. Conversely, if we are focused on negativity, fear, and scarcity, we will attract more of those things as well. Think of it like a radio station. If you tune your radio to a particular frequency, you'll hear the music that's being broadcast on that frequency. Similarly, if you align your energy with the vibration of abundance and positivity, you will begin to attract those same qualities into your life. It's a simple, yet profound principle that governs the way we experience the world. This is not to say that we can simply sit back and wait for everything we want to appear without effort. The law of attraction is not about passive wishing. It's about actively aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the energy of what you want to attract. When you focus on positivity and gratitude, your energy shifts, and you begin to naturally draw in the people, opportunities, and circumstances that match that energy. This is exactly what happened in the life of Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group. Branson, a self-made billionaire, attributes much of his success to the positive energy he cultivated throughout his career. He believes that by staying focused on his purpose, surrounding himself with positive people, and maintaining a mindset of abundance, he attracted success and opportunities in ways that would have seemed impossible otherwise. The importance of emotional energy. One of the most powerful forms of energy is emotional energy. Our emotions are a reflection of our internal state and have a direct impact on the energy we emit. Positive emotions like love, gratitude, and joy vibrate at a higher frequency, while negative emotions like anger, fear, and resentment vibrate at a lower frequency. The energy we emit through our emotions can either attract or repel experiences, people, and opportunities. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in how we align our energy. People with high emotional intelligence are able to recognize their emotions, understand them, and regulate them effectively. They don't let their emotions control them. Instead, they use them as tools for insight and growth. By doing so, they are able to maintain a positive emotional state, which in turn helps them align their energy with their goals. In the case of Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, his emotional resilience has played a key role in his success. Musk has faced countless challenges, from the near collapse of Tesla to the initial failures of SpaceX's rocket launches. But instead of allowing his emotions to control him, Musk has maintained a focus on his long-term vision. His ability to manage his emotional energy, despite immense pressure, has allowed him to attract the opportunities and success that have propelled him to the forefront of the technology industry. The importance of consistency, alignment with our true purpose, and the energy we emit isn't a one-time event. It requires consistency and dedication. Just like a compass that always points north, our energy must remain consistently aligned with our values, beliefs, and desires. This consistency creates a steady flow of energy that attracts the right opportunities at the right time. It's easy to become distracted or discouraged when we don't see immediate results. But true alignment takes time. It requires us to maintain our focus and stay grounded in our purpose, even when the results don't come as quickly as we would like. When we stay consistent in our energy, however, the universe will respond, and the opportunities we seek will begin to manifest in ways we never expected. 4. Live as if you already trust the universe. Trusting the universe is one of the most transformative practices in both spirituality and personal growth. At its core, it involves surrendering the need for certainty and control and embracing the inherent uncertainty of life. The universe is constantly unfolding, presenting us with opportunities, challenges, and experiences that shape our lives in ways we often can't predict. But when we learn to trust this process, when we act with faith despite the lack of visible certainty, we can begin to experience life in a new, more peaceful and fulfilling way. To trust the universe is not to passively wait for things to happen or to expect life to unfold in a specific way. It's about actively participating in the flow of life with a deep understanding that what is meant for us will come, even if it's not on our timetable. It's a belief that we are being guided, supported, and taken care of, even when we can't see the bigger picture. Trusting the universe means trusting in the process of life, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, and that even the challenges we face are part of our greater journey. This trust doesn't require certainty, it requires faith. And faith is not about knowing how things will unfold, but about trusting that, regardless of what happens, we will be able to handle it and emerge stronger for it. Personal insight. embracing uncertainty in my own life, embracing uncertainty and learning to trust that everything will unfold as it should has been incredibly liberating. I used to be someone who sought certainty at every turn. I wanted to know exactly what the future held, and I spent much of my time trying to control outcomes. But the more I tried to control, the more I felt overwhelmed by life's unpredictability. Eventually, I realized that the very things I was trying to control were the things that were causing me the most stress. When I stopped obsessing over the perfect plan and instead allowed myself to trust in life's natural rhythm, something remarkable happened. Opportunities I hadn't expected came into my life, relationships deepened, and I found a peace I hadn't known was possible. For example, when I transitioned into a new career, I felt uncertain about the future. There were many unknowns, and I had to make decisions without knowing all the details. Instead of trying to force things to go a certain way, I allowed myself to trust that the right opportunities would present themselves in due time. And they did. This experience reinforced the idea that trusting the process, without trying to micromanage every aspect of it, can lead to greater fulfillment and success. This shift in perspective allowed me to find peace in the unknown. I stopped waiting for life to provide me with certainty and started embracing uncertainty as a natural part of the journey. Instead of fearing the unknown, I learned to trust it. And in doing so, I began to experience life in a way that felt more open, more expansive, and more aligned with my true purpose. Trusting the universe. Learning from the great leaders, many of the world's most influential leaders and thinkers have exemplified the power of trusting the universe, even in the face of uncertainty. One such example is Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. Jobs, often seen as a visionary in the tech industry, demonstrated a remarkable ability to trust in the unknown. He didn't know how the technology would evolve, but he trusted in his vision and in the process of creating something that had never been done before. One of the most famous stories of Jobs' trust in the universe comes from his time at Apple. In 1985, Jobs was ousted from the very company he had founded. The future seemed uncertain, and it would have been easy for him to give up or become bitter. But instead of succumbing to despair, Jobs trusted the process. He went on to create NXT, a computer company, and later, Pixar, which revolutionized the animation industry. Eventually, he returned to Apple, and the company saw unparalleled success, with products like the iPhone, iPad, and MacBook transforming the tech landscape. What made Jobs' story so remarkable was his ability to trust in the universe, to believe that everything was happening for a reason, even when he couldn't see the end result. He wasn't deterred by failure or by the uncertainty of his circumstances. Instead, he trusted that his path would unfold in the right way. Jobs' story teaches us that sometimes the detours and challenges we face are part of the greater journey that will ultimately lead us to success. Similarly, Oprah Winfrey, one of the most powerful women in media, has spoken often about trusting the universe. Oprah's journey to success was anything but certain. She faced many challenges, including a difficult childhood, setbacks in her career, and numerous personal struggles. But throughout it all, Oprah has talked about the importance of trusting the process and believing that everything was happening for her, not to her. In interviews and speeches, Oprah frequently emphasizes the idea of trusting the universe. She believes that we all have a purpose and that the universe provides the resources and opportunities we need to fulfill that purpose, if we trust in the process. Oprah's ability to trust the journey, even when things weren't going according to plan, is a testament to the power of faith in the universe. These leaders, Jobs and Oprah, show us that trusting the universe doesn't mean waiting passively for success to come to us. It means actively participating in life with faith and belief in the process, even when we don't know how things will unfold. By trusting the universe, we align ourselves with the flow of life, and in doing so, we create the conditions for success, peace, and fulfillment. The bird on the branch. Trusting the leap, there's a beautiful story that illustrates the importance of trusting the universe and taking the leap, even when it feels like the perfect moment hasn't arrived. The story goes like this. A bird sits perched on a branch, hesitating to take flight. It looks around, waiting for the wind to be just right, for the conditions to be perfect. The bird hesitates, unsure of when the right time will come. But as it waits, it realizes that the perfect moment may never come. The bird finally lets go of its hesitation, trusts the wind, and leaps into the air. It spreads its wings and soars, effortlessly moving with the rhythm of the wind. This story perfectly encapsulates the idea of trusting the universe. The bird could have sat on the branch forever, waiting for the right conditions, but in doing so, it would have never flown. It was only by letting go of the need for certainty and trusting the process that it was able to soar to new heights. In life, we often find ourselves waiting for the perfect moment, believing that there will come a time when everything aligns perfectly. But more often than not, that perfect moment never comes. Instead, we have to take the leap before we feel ready. We have to trust that the universe will catch us, that even if we fall, we will learn and grow from the experience. This is where faith plays a crucial role. Faith is not about knowing the outcome. It's about trusting that everything will work out, even if we can't see how. Faith is the bird jumping off the branch, knowing that it will catch the wind and soar, even though it can't see the air beneath its wings. Living with faith in the unknown to live as if we already trust the universe requires us to embrace the unknown and to act with faith, even when there is no guarantee of success. It's about trusting that the universe has a plan for us, even when we don't fully understand it. When we live with faith in the unknown, we become less concerned with the need for certainty and more open to the possibilities that life has to offer. We stop holding onto rigid expectations and start flowing with life's natural rhythm. We trust that whatever happens is part of our journey and that every experience, good or bad, is an opportunity for growth. This is a lesson that many successful entrepreneurs and leaders have learned through their own experiences. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, is another example of someone who has learned to trust the universe. Branson has faced many setbacks throughout his career, from the initial struggles of Virgin Airlines to the ups and downs of his other business ventures. But he has always maintained a deep trust in the process. Branson embraces uncertainty, takes risks, and moves forward with faith that the universe will guide him to where he needs to be. His success is a direct result of his willingness to trust the journey, even when the path isn't clear. 5. Bonus lesson. The power of stillness in today's fast-paced, distraction-filled world. The concept of stillness may seem almost foreign. We are constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's the ceaseless flow of information, the pressure to meet deadlines, or the constant buzzing of social media. As a result, the idea of silence and stillness can feel uncomfortable, almost like an obstacle to our productivity. However, the truth is that it is in stillness that we often find the answers we are searching for. The practice of embracing stillness is not about retreating from the world, but rather about creating space within ourselves to reconnect with our true selves, gain clarity, and navigate life with grace and intention. At its core, stillness is the absence of mental clutter, the ability to be present without distraction, and the conscious decision to embrace silence. In stillness, we stop forcing things and allow ourselves to simply be. It is in this space that we can hear the quiet voice of our intuition, reflect on our experiences, and gain insights that we would otherwise miss in the rush of daily life. The power of stillness is a concept that has been emphasized in various philosophical traditions, especially in Zen Buddhism. In Zen practice, stillness is not simply a mental state, but a way of being. It is through stillness that one can tap into a deeper understanding of existence, detach from the constant fluctuations of the mind, and gain clarity about the path ahead. Personal insight. Finding answers in stillness in my personal experience. Embracing moments of stillness has been one of the most transformative practices in my journey of self-discovery and growth. Like many, I once believed that the key to progress was constant motion. Always doing, always thinking, always striving. I was consumed by the idea that if I wasn't busy, I wasn't being productive. But as I continued to push myself harder, I found that I wasn't getting closer to the answers I sought. Instead, I felt increasingly overwhelmed and disconnected from my true desires. It was only when I began to embrace stillness that I started to see things more clearly. In the quiet moments, I was able to connect with my inner self, free from the noise of external expectations and self-imposed pressures. I realized that answers often don't come through constant mental activity. They come in the space between thoughts, in the moments of quiet reflection. This understanding shifted my perspective completely. Embracing silence has also been incredibly helpful in moments of uncertainty. When I faced important decisions or challenging situations, I would sit in silence, allowing my mind to settle. In these moments, I began to trust that the clarity I sought would come when the time was right. More often than not, the answers revealed themselves naturally, without the need for frantic searching or overthinking. This personal insight mirrors the wisdom found in many teachings about stillness. The more we quiet our minds and allow space for reflection, the more we are able to tap into the clarity and strength that lie within us. It's not about forcing solutions or scrambling for answers. It's about being open and receptive to the insights that arise from a place of calm. The transformative power of silence, the power of stillness and silence can be likened to the clearing of a foggy window. When we stop looking through the window, constantly adjusting our perspective, and simply allow ourselves to sit quietly, we create the space for the fog to dissipate. As the fog clears, our view becomes sharper and we can see the landscape more clearly. This process is not about forcing the fog to disappear, but about letting it pass naturally, creating space for clarity. In this sense, silence is not the absence of thought or activity, but the absence of unnecessary noise. It's about removing the distractions that prevent us from seeing the truth. When we allow ourselves to sit in silence, we stop fighting with our thoughts. We stop chasing after solutions or anxiously wondering what comes next. Instead, we create the conditions for insight and understanding to arise. Consider the example of Albert Einstein, one of the most brilliant minds in history. Einstein was known for his deep, reflective thinking, often spending long hours in quiet contemplation. He believed that the greatest ideas came not from frantic thinking, but from moments of stillness, where the mind could let go of distractions and allow new ideas to emerge. In fact, one of Einstein's most famous insights, the theory of relativity, came to him not through a rush of thoughts, but in a moment of calm when he was simply daydreaming. Einstein's ability to trust in the power of stillness and quiet reflection is a reminder that some of the greatest breakthroughs in human history have come not from relentless activity, but from the ability to create space for clarity and insight. In stillness, the mind is freed from the pressure of constant mental noise, allowing it to tap into deeper layers of creativity and understanding. The Zen Master and his Student. A story of stillness. A Zen master once asked his student to sit in silence. The student, eager to understand the practice, attempted to force himself into stillness. But his mind was restless, thoughts kept arising, and the silence felt uncomfortable. He grew frustrated, feeling as though he wasn't doing it right. After some time, the Zen master approached the student and asked, "What are you doing?" The student replied, "I am sitting in silence, but my mind is still restless." The master smiled and said, "You are not your thoughts, you are the sky that watches the clouds. The clouds may come and go, but the sky remains unshaken." This story beautifully illustrates the transformative power of stillness. It is not about suppressing or controlling our thoughts. It is about recognizing that our thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky. They are transient and impermanent. Just as the sky remains unaffected by the clouds, our true nature remains unchanged by the constant flow of thoughts. Through this practice of sitting in silence and observing without attachment, the student began to realize that stillness was not about forcing the mind to be empty, but about allowing the mind to settle on its own. The more he embraced the stillness, the more profound the insights became. Eventually, he experienced a deep sense of clarity, realizing that stillness was not just a practice, but a way of being. This Zen story highlights the importance of detachment and acceptance in the process of stillness. We often think of stillness as a mental state that we must strive for, but the truth is that stillness arises naturally when we stop forcing it. It is in the quiet moments when we let go of our attempts to control that we allow clarity to emerge. This is the essence of the practice, the ability to be present without the need to change anything. Stillness as a tool for personal growth in our everyday lives. It's easy to become caught up in the rush of things, constantly trying to do, achieve, and accumulate. We often feel that if we aren't constantly moving forward, we are falling behind. But in reality, true personal growth often comes from the quiet moments when we are able to pause and reflect. Stillness offers us the opportunity to reconnect with our inner selves, to reflect on our experiences, and to gain insight into the path ahead. It allows us to let go of the noise and distractions that cloud our judgment and to listen to the wisdom within. When we create space for stillness in our lives, we give ourselves the chance to reflect on our goals, examine our beliefs, and understand our desires more clearly. Take, for example, the life of Maya Angelou, one of the most celebrated writers and poets of the 20th century. Angelou was known for her profound insights into life, which she attributed in part to her practice of stillness. She often spoke about the importance of quiet reflection and finding time to be alone with one's thoughts. For Angelou, the moments of stillness were essential for her creative process. She used silence to connect with her deeper wisdom, and it was through this practice that she was able to write works that have inspired millions. In much the same way, stillness can be a tool for our personal growth. By embracing silence, we create the space to understand ourselves more deeply, to heal from past experiences, and to align with our true purpose. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that we can reconnect with the deeper aspects of our being and begin to see life's challenges with greater clarity and grace. The power of stillness, letting go, and observing without attachment is not just a concept, it's a profound way of living. As we've explored through personal stories, teachings from great leaders, and timeless Buddhist wisdom, the journey to inner peace begins with releasing control, allowing life to unfold naturally and trusting in the process. It's in these quiet moments when we stop fighting the flow of life that we reconnect with our true selves and experience the clarity we've been searching for. Just like the sky after a storm, peace is always there waiting for us, and by embracing the power of stillness, we can allow it to fill every corner of our lives. So, take a deep breath, let go of the struggle, and trust that everything is unfolding